Hey everyone, it's Sugar. I'm at Shenango Valley State Park and we are going to find some trees and plants to ID while we're out on a nature hike with myself and, where'd she go? Wednesday. Come here. There she is. Hi. So we're going to show you some cool things to see when you go out to the parks. Hey everyone, so actually we have a fun plant that Wednesday got stuck to. Any guesses as to what this one is? Haha, I heard some of you probably have said burdock. Over here we go, here's the burdock plant. Those little pods have spiny little spikes and they're kind of like Velcro. Actually, that's where the idea for Velcro came from. And what's in those little things are seeds. And they rely on animals like Wednesday to take those seeds to new places to plant new plants. Pretty cool. So the first tree Wednesday has found, hi Wednesday, is in a group of other trees that look very similar. If we get close, their bark looks really shaggy and it's in long strips. If we look at the needles, they don't look like pine needles. If we look really close, they're kind of scaly like a fish or a snake. So we can use our field guide to compare it to some of the trees in our area. Douglas fir have really big cones. Their needles are short and pointy and they don't look like a snake. On the next page, we have some common juniper. They look scaly, but there's those little blue berry things. Didn't see those. Up above, we're getting closer with the white cedar, but I think above it is our tree. We have upright, very small cones with scales, and the green part is darker than our northern white cedar. So it says western red cedar are between 60 and 130 feet tall, and Native Americans use the trunks for totems and canoes. If anyone made spoons or coal-burned bowls with me, you would use the same process to make a canoe out of a tree trunk. Wednesday found another plant. Pretty cool. Next to her is this fern. I don't have a guide for a fern, so I can't show you the guide. But if you look at each individual leaflet and turn it sideways, it kind of looks like a stocking, like a Christmas stocking. This is a Christmas fern. And there are a few on the side of our trail. Hey, this is Wednesday's favorite part. We're gonna get going on the trail. This way. There we go. She sniffs everything. Has to check out all the signs for animals. If there are tracks or scat, she usually finds it. There's more of the, what kind of fern? Looks like a Christmas stocking. Yeah, Christmas fern. Okay, here we go. Oh, what'd she find? All right, Wednesday. Let's go, come on. There we go. Off on our adventures. Up the hills, down the hills. She goes everywhere. Some of you might be wondering why she's wearing a pack. That helps get some energy out. Wednesday's only 2 years old. She has tons of energy in her pack. I also have a tick spoon, tweezers. Oh, she found a chipmunk. So Wednesday does carry her own essentials when we are out hiking. And now you can see what schnauzers do best. They love looking for little critters. Thankfully, that chipmunk is already somewhere safe. All right, let's keep walking, Wednesday. Come on. Let's go. Bye, chipmunk. Oh, there's some snow still. We don't have much down here. I know up north y'all got a bunch. Oh, she's gonna try from the other side. Oh, hey, yeah, we're by a lake. Shenango Valley State Park is a pretty awesome place. Oh, there goes Wednesday. All right, we'll keep going for just a little bit. Cool. All right, we'll be back when we find another cool tree. Cool, we're back already. Wednesday found another tree for us to look at. Oh, well, she looks at something else. So it's, well, spring now, but we just got done with winter. And most deciduous trees, they lose their leaves. But this tree has a bunch of them still attached. For all of my daisies, brownies, and juniors that came to Frost and Fire, they should remember what this tree was. The leaves still attached have, and I hope I don't fall down the hill, these really long buds at the end of the tree. There we go. And these buds you can actually eat. Haha. So if it looks ragged and pulled apart like that, which one of my girls remembers what animal pulls it apart in their flat teeth and leaves a ragged edge? There's another animal that would be shorter that would nip it off really clean because they have big, strong front teeth. And there's my field guide. So this tree, if my girls remember, has leaves with lines that look like parking lot lines. Like when you pull into the parking lot and there are very straight parallel lines. They have those long pointy buds that you can eat. There's the one I nipped. So this tree is a beech tree. And these leaves are high and dry. We like to call them high and dry because they're off the ground. Are awesome to start a fire. So if you look far around, you don't have to be up close to find those leaves to know where a beech tree is to start a fire. High and dry is awesome for a fire. And those buds are good for a snack. Here we are back with the tree guide. Trees with large leaf teeth. The edges of the leaves have points on them, kind of like a saw blade. Those are the teeth of the leaf. If you look at this chestnut twig, the buds, or the very end, are kind of short and they're not very pointy. So remember our beech twig, there are those long pointy buds. They kind of look like scales. And the parking lot lines with the teeth at the edge of the leaf. There's our beech tree. And remember, those high and dry leaves are good for fire. Wednesday's taking a break. We found a cool log on the side of this trail. If you look closely, there are all these tiny mushrooms. They look like little shells. I'm not good with mushrooms, so I'm not going to tell you what they may or may not be. But I can tell you that if we were to roll this log in another direction, all of these tiny mushrooms would spin around so they were then parallel with the ground. Now, the reason why they do that is because under is where the spores come out, and the mushrooms want the spores to distribute on the ground and not get wasted. So the log would rotate so all those little mushrooms are parallel to the ground so the spores can distribute evenly. So that's pretty cool. If you have a log like this in your backyard, you could always move it to see what happens. There's Wednesday. All right, we're gonna keep walking. Okay, we're back. We found this awesome, huge tree that's leaning way over the water. This tree, the bark, is a whole lot different than the one next to it. So this particular tree kind of looks like camouflage. And this tree, and I'm sorry I don't have any leaves to show you, because right now they're all crumpled as it's the end of the winter season. But this is a sycamore tree, and they're really cool to see. When you're driving on the highway, sometimes you'll see them in the distance because they have those big white splotches and they look like camouflage. They're really easy to identify. And what is way up there? What's that? Oh, there we go. Those are the beech leaves. She's all excited. She decided to hop in the water when I was talking about the sycamore tree. That's okay. We've got, I don't know what she's doing right now. So on the side of our trail, we found this really awesome mat of moss. It's super soft, and in the spring, when it's ready to propagate, at the very, very top, it'll have this little thing. It looks like a bowl, like a hat. And that's why this is called hair cap moss. So you see it in very moist soils, and where we are now, it's on the side of a pretty big hill. Oh, hey, what's this in front of us? It's got parking lot lines. I think it's another beech tree. So Wednesday found another cool tree. If we look at the one that's right next to her, there are all these holes in the tree. And this tree is actually pretty dead. If we go all the way up, you can see it's not quite alive anymore. Nothing green, nothing growing, but lots of big holes poked in the tree. Any guesses what that may be from? If you guessed a woodpecker, you are correct. But what's neat about woodpeckers is they aren't interested in the wood. They actually have really great hearing, and they peck inside where they hear bugs so they can eat the bugs. So these dead trees are great places for bugs to live. And Wednesday is trying to get to the water again. So these dead trees, you may think, oh, it's sad, it's a dead tree, but it provides a place for bugs to live and a place for woodpeckers to get their food. So everybody wins. Dead logs are good logs for the forest too. Okay, Wednesday found our last tree. This one is really big. It still has its needles. So what do we call trees that still have their needles all through the winter? This would be an evergreen tree. Evergreen trees have wax on the green part so they can photosynthesize and survive all winter long. This tree has really short, dark, shiny needles. And if we look at our tree guide, Douglas fir have short needles, have really big cones. Under it, we have an eastern hemlock that has short, dark needles. And these actually have tiny cones. I tried to find them, but I couldn't, because this is what we're looking at. This is an eastern hemlock. So this tree with those short needles, on the bottom, a good indicator are, there we go, the two white lines at the bottom of the flat needle. So our beech tree had diagonal parallel lines. Hemlock needles are parallel, but they are straight perpendicular out from the twig. So there's Wednesday, enjoying the end of our hike. Don't worry, she's on a leash. She's attached to me. But this was our beautiful day at Shenango Valley State Park. I hope you learned some awesome things about the forest that's not too far from most of us. There's the lake. So enjoy the rest of your day. Get outside. Please follow social distancing guidelines. We want to make sure everyone stays happy and healthy, and we'll see you next week.